So starting off with this first column, which is your health sector, so the 8 of Pentacles, do more research before proceeding, education in the form of seminars, going back to school or apprenticeships, excellent craftsmanship and long-term projects. So there's not a lot in there from the traditional meaning of the card talking about health, but to me the 8 of Pentacles sometimes refers to the spine and the lower part of the spine, so the hips, thighs, buttocks, area of the bowel and the intestine, so things like celiacs, irritable bowel, they can be issues that may pop up or crop up. That can have to do with diet or allergies or situations related to stress sometimes as well. And also with the 8 of Pentacles, it can be that the base chakra, which in this particular deck doesn't show the colours very well, but that's the red colour, may need opening or tweaking or activating or moving somehow. So for some of you, this is in terms of emotions as well, because the base chakra controls things such as the fear and flight mode, or feeling grounded or feeling safe and secure. So some of those emotions may be coming to the fore or may need addressing or balancing as well. But if we come back to the 4 of Wands, is another really positive card. It's about peace, harmony, happiness, feeling content. More of this green colour, which is about emotions and can also be about the heart chakra. So maybe the heart for some of you needs some sort of care and attention as well, and that brings me back to thinking about diet. Some of you may have an older person in your life like this who needs a little bit of care or attention, or who might be on your mind in this month of May. When we see the 10 of Wands reversed, sometimes this feels as though you are coming to the end of a journey that might have been a long time. So it could have been a health issue that you have had that's gone on for a long time, and you've tried perhaps many different avenues, or you have been working on something about this health issue. Now it could be that you've been working on changing something in your lifestyle, like becoming fitter or losing weight or gaining weight, or trying to work through a system like a skin disorder. But because the 10 of Wands is reversed, I think it's saying don't stop yet, you're nearly there. And some of the things you have learned along the way or implemented could well pay dividends, but I think you've got a little bit further to go. This is also the yellow part of the body, the solar plexus. It's also to do with the stomach. And again, we come back to this diet and irritable bowel. I'm thinking for a lot of you that diet may help you in terms of autoimmune or allergic related situations you may have in your body. And there's something else with this one here. I feel still this back is being mentioned. It could even be from the top of your shoulders going down into your spine, like whether you've had back pains or shoulder pains or something in your neck or back that may need like a physiotherapy or a stretching or a treatment. I can't remember whether the 6 of Swords was upside down or not, but the 6 of Swords comes to me, and I often think when I see swords of something again like a stabbing pain. And again, this is sort of towards the back. It's even going down to the legs in this instance. You may have a blockage that's blocking you physically, like a pins and needles type effect, but this blockage could also be blocking you emotionally, or it could even be blocking your creativity, and it might need to be that you have to open the flow somehow in your creative realm or your emotional realm to let out old wounds or old traumas or things that you've been holding on to that might be restricting you, holding you back. I also think of this sometimes in terms of an operation of sorts. And again, I'm thinking down the spine, down the back, or possibly through the legs. Those are kind of like the only messages I'm really getting here in terms of the health for you guys, but I'm sure that's plenty anyhow. Let's look at the finances and career. So we started off with the 4 of Cups, and this is quite often more about an emotional card. It says being distracted and failing to see a magical opportunity, taking someone or something for granted, and discontentment with life. Well, at the moment, I think I can't blame anyone for falling into any of those categories. Some of us are failing to see magical opportunities because we're caught up in the physicality of life at the moment with the restrictions that we have placed on us. Now, I don't know where you're watching this from around the world, but most all of the globe's citizens are physically restricted at the moment with this event that's taking place. So with physical restriction can come a lack of freedom to feel the expressions of life, to feel the flow, to feel the creativity, to feel the passion and the excitement. But also for a lot of people, it's definitely stopping the flow of finances and money and also career opportunities. But it feels as though for some of you there is some sort of magic or opportunity, and you need to perhaps open your eyes. Now, some of you may receive an offer when this card turns up, and you may think it's not good enough. And that's what it says, taking something or someone for granted, discontentment with life. You need to broaden your prospects or broaden your vision or the directions in which you're looking, especially if you are going to be seeking a new way of funding yourself or looking for a career or a change of career or a new job. The Ten of Cups is a fantastic card, no matter what area it falls in. Again, it's to do with the cups. Both of these are cups cards. So there's something in here that's telling me that your financial status or your career is holding or is being held in the heart capacity in through the emotions. And a lot of us will be finding that as well, that we are emotionally involved with our careers or the decisions that are happening to them or the positions or the lack of positions at the moment. Because, before all this event came along, a lot of us had safe jobs that were trundling along quite well. Now, globally, we're going to see a huge decimation of jobs. Quite simply, there are going to be many, many more unemployed people. And I think that we will all be feeling into our careers and our financial states a lot more emotionally than we have been in the past. However, this is a positive card that suggests you may have had some long-term, because this is the 10, so long-term satisfaction or long-term plans that may have been able to be put in place to keep you feeling somewhat in a positive manner or some sort of strength, because again, this is the yellow card. So I do feel there is some strength around your financial capacity or options or choices at the moment. We come to the High Priestess, the Hierophant, and then the Queen of Coins. So the High Priestess is about having knowledge around something and having attained an understanding and particularly a global or cosmic awareness of a situation that you might be going through or that you have pondered upon with your finances. And I think for all of us, the more we know or the further we've taken our understanding or our learnings or our lessons, and the Hierophant is not dissimilar, they're almost like a partnership, these two, then the more we've applied logic and gone into further research or understanding of finances or how to invest them or how to earn them or propagate them or how to feel knowledgeable perhaps in an area of career that we've undertaken. You might be a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant or a mechanic. You might be a builder. Well, all of these people are qualified and very disciplined in their own trades. And these could go a long way in taking you further or taking you into the new new timeline that we're heading into in terms of people who will be employable. So some of you have these great skills that you can take with you, that you have learnt along the way, and they will hold you in good stead. Now again, we've got the yellow, we also have the purple, which is the indigo colour. Both of these are states of heightened awareness, cosmic knowledge, broader understanding. So if you haven't fallen into that category, in terms of your career or knowing what to do with your finances, now would be a really good time to start learning or take up a new avenue of teaching. For some of you might teach something, but for others, if you're learning, then it might be wise to learn a new career or learn a new skill at this point in time. We all have to now figure out where we're all headed and where society most needs jobs, and how can we be useful if we're still in the employable sector. For some of you, this might be retirement, and you might be still pondering what to do with the finances that you've got. But it feels fairly strong. All of those cards are great strength and foundation and knowledge and awareness. This one can be a person, and it might be like an earth sign person who could play a role in your employment or career sector or in your financial sector. So she could be like a bank manager or someone who you go to speak about loans, whether it's extending a mortgage or paying back a loan or borrowing some more money, or whether she's an employer who is your boss or someone who you might meet who teaches you something or who gives you some sort of support or understanding or teaching along the way. She definitely is a financial person, and she does hold that coin in her hand. So somehow she has a reign over or control in or part of a financial reality as to what's going on around you. If we come to relationships here, we had a couple that were reversed. Let's have a wee look at this. We get the 3 of Cups, so more cups again. You had quite a lot of cups in your reading, which kind of is insinuating that we have this emotional perspective or feeling going on, and I don't think that's uncommon at this point in time. But this 3 of Cups is the community card or the socializing card, or the card of knowing that there are people around you who have your back, and often they are 3 women, and sometimes it can be the sisterhood of life. So these could be siblings or a mother and daughters or 3 best friends or relatives or people in your community that you each look after the other. The card on the bottom says news worth celebrating, announcements such as weddings, graduations or birth, friends you cherish. Some of you may be lucky enough to attend an event like this, although for a lot of countries at the moment, still in a lockdown procedure, events like that are not being celebrated much, but you can have small gatherings. So perhaps some of you are able to get together with very close people in your life and attend one of these small gatherings. It's either that or there's great support for you one way or another. We come to these 2 reversals, and we have the 10 of Swords and the 4 of Cups. Both of these are a little bit, what I would say, irksome in a couple of ways. And in fact, you've had the 4 of Cups twice, because that is also the 4 of Cups up here. So you've had this similar message going through somewhere, and it could be to do with work and career or some other relationship, but this is now your relationship sector. It's about feeling a bit discontent or taking something or someone for granted. And then we've got this over here, which is an unexpected event often, which you haven't really seen creeping up on you. And it can be that someone literally does that to you, stabs you in the back. And that brings us actually back to what I was saying at the very beginning about the health, feeling as though some of you may have had this thing going all the way down your back, and these swords are saying it again. So I'm not sure whether they are talking about physical pain, which we did at the beginning of the reading, or whether these swords are talking about an emotional trauma that might be traversing your system. And that could very well have been what the message was over here when I said it's like you've got, there's more of these swords here in this situation. It might have been that the sword pain or the back pain is actually quite an emotional trauma that is creeping in. Now, it could be due to a relationship that you're going through where there is this situation or event that is either occurring or has occurred that is painful, and it could be lack of trust, or it could be someone hasn't respected you. It's not these people. So it's someone else in a situation. It may be that you felt that you couldn't trust them, or that something wasn't being shown to you, and then they've gone and perhaps done this because they didn't like your behaviour or the way you've been dealing with something. So I think there's a bit of a warning going on in here in terms of your relationships, about just watching how a situation unravels with someone or a few people, because something like this might happen to you, and it's not very pleasant when it does. But if it does happen, it's telling you that it had to occur. When the 10s come out, and you've had a few 10s, we're on the cusp of some sort of new beginning. So we're on the cusp of learning a big lesson in life and turning in a new direction. So I have a feeling that for you, some of your friendships may come to an end. There might be a reason for this, that there hasn't been support, or there has been betrayal, or there has been talk about you behind your back that has been unfair or unkind, or you have unwittingly put yourself in a position where this has happened. So it will be about also paying attention to how you behave in a certain way, and how you pick and select your friends and what you say to them. I think there's a little bit of that goes in there as well. The last one was the 3 of Wands. So we have quite this repeating number of 3s as well. And again, I just see this card in particular as 3 people offering some sort of support. And it feels a very feminine card. Again, I'm thinking there's 3 females that back you up in some way. Now, this is often seen in career perspective, and it's about expansion and moving out and moving away. So somehow you're expanding this network of friends, or you are looking into the future about a changed direction. I do feel there's change coming for you guys around your community of friendships. This could be to do with work colleagues, or some work or career opportunity or situation, or like an energy that's been going on in the background that's been building up. So for some of you it is work related, for others it's more of a community friendship, it may even involve family, but I feel that you are moving away and looking into the future and making some choices about who you take with you, who you leave behind, and how you move forward. So yeah, that's the messages there for you in terms of the general reading. Let's come down and see what these 2 say. And it's interesting that I had a dream about a white raven a couple of nights ago, and I wasn't sure what the message was for the white raven, so I'll be interested to read what the book says as well. So 66 and 29, white raven spirit, trust in the magic. Now these cards actually have 2 perspectives. They give you a general meaning, and then they give you a protection message. So I will read both for these cards, the general meaning and the protective message as well. White raven. Nothing in the universe is random, for the intricate web of co-creation weaves together all events and has done so since the beginning of time. Coincidences have meaning, and white raven appears to remind you to pay attention to these synchronicities so that you might recognize patterns. Even the winds dance in a pattern, participating in the magic of Spirit's plan for all. Align with the highest good and intentions, and you will come to see that White Raven is guiding you, an ally to you, and a messenger from Spirit. Align with the light, and you will start to recognize that all is working together harmoniously in ways the eye can't always see and the mind can't always comprehend. The universe is conspiring on your behalf right now, drawing you to the light and bringing you the magic and miracles that are your birthright. Now is the time to trust in the magic of the world that is everywhere and in all things. Pay attention to how things come together as if by magic, and you will see the hand of the Great Spirit arranging things in your favour. Now the protection message for White Raven, and some of you may resonate with this more than the previous part of the message. This is your protection message. Are you being distracted by the illusion of a chaotic universe? Deep in your heart, you know the world is full of magic, and White Raven has appeared to remind you that the ways of the world can cause spiritual amnesia. Stay awake and alert, for Spirit wants you to enjoy the miracles all around you. Remember, the evidence of divine order can be seen everywhere. Ask for a sign and it shall be yours. Synchronicities happen all the time. So if you are in a time of challenge and feeling cynical, all you need to do is ask for a reminder. White Raven will appear to reassure you that all of this is leading to something better, for magic is in the wind. Now, because that card is talking about synchronicities in particular and magical occurrences and situations, I would be really interested for you to keep your eye out if you see a white raven, which I feel is probably a very rare bird, but alternatively, if you see any white bird and if it comes across your path, or even a white feather, and I'd love it if you'd leave your comments and tell us a little bit about your experience around that. Now we come to Giraffe Spirit. Giraffes stretch upward to reach the treetops and look down from a high vantage point. When Giraffe Spirit appears, it is a sign to observe from a higher view. In all aspects of your life, it's time to stretch your neck out and broaden your view. Open your eyes to what others need or are experiencing and see the big picture you fit into. No matter how great your wisdom, knowledge, or experience, you don't want to overlook details and connections that will help you better understand yourself and your circumstances. So stretch yourself. Look beyond what catches your attention at eye level and know that not everything is as obvious as you might like it to be. Spirit will bestow upon you a new perspective that might make all the difference. Now the protection message for Giraffe is, are you sticking your neck out too far, reaching too high instead of looking around to see the conditions on the ground? Your devotion to co-creating something new is admirable. But Giraffe Spirit is showing up to remind you that you have to look at the whole picture, not just those tasty leaves at the top of the tree. Perspective is necessary now, and that means checking in with what is going on around you and at your feet. Or perhaps you are ruminating over the worries of the world instead of paying attention to what you can do right now where you are to bring about the changes you would like to see. Align with your highest good and know that while perspective is important, transformation begins where you are. Do not go too far up in the clouds thinking about all the big problems that you lose perspective and forget to do your part, however small it may be, to start enacting change, for transformation begins with you. And I think that's an amazing way to finish this reading, because in the end, we are going through a very big transformation on this planet right now. And as much as, yes, it's a global transformation and the changes are very, very big, the changes do start individually with us, back at our own personal level. That's a really wise finish to your reading, Sagittarius. I trust you have enjoyed this and those two beautiful animal spirits that have come in to give you the final message. Thank you for listening. I love it when you leave your comments. Thank you for subbing the channel, liking the video and hitting the notification bell.